All right. Uh, I'm gonna do a quick, broad overview of the market. All right, big dog in the room here. 10-year yield. What I like to see is that it's kind of topping on the squeeze and on the wave trend. Okay, and I'll be watching the MACD. This is obviously the daily chart. Now, why do I have this up? Well, I'll show you why, because this is very, very important. Not only do we have some red div bars here, it's hit the parametric oscillators top line. Back when it broke out of our downtrend line, we said, okay, is it going to be a double top or a cup? Well, clearly it made a cup, it came down, and now we got the handle. How high is this handle going to go? The Federal Reserve and other central banks do not want it to go past this 4.3 line, nor do they want it to get up here either. It's all about when they decide to smash it down. Okay, right now it looks really bullish, and at least the TTM squeeze say it can go higher. But once you look in on the 1 hour, you see that the 9 has crossed the 21, so it's going to be very interesting to see how they react to the 50 here. And the encouraging sign is that the parametric dipped under the middle line. It's testing right there. This is kind of, its own little thing, so we got to keep an eye on it because it can act erratically. Now, as far as ES, we closed right here, 11 o'clock my time. So it's chugged up to where we got the minutes. And if you go on the daily, you can see that we touched the October low trend line, and now it's popping up. So what I'm looking at is how it's react. As I said in my video about this indicator, once it touches the top and comes down, if it can hold the middle line, it'll go up. Here you see it didn't hold it and went underneath. The TTM squeeze and the wave trend show that this bounce is going to be short-lived, and that's all I care about. Is pretty much open tomorrow and tomorrow, possibly into Friday. We'll see. Gotta pay close attention here. Do I think it's gonna go up here? No, not yet. I think it needs to see if it can trust the 50 and this trend line, and if not, it's gonna come down to here to the 200, and below that the 2022 trend line to try again. So huge market spot. Now look at SPX. It is curling MACD cross. This is obviously the 5 minutes. So right now ES is up here, right? So tomorrow what we want is a gap and go. Obviously a bunch of people who swung calls are going to sell, so we don't want that first dip to go any lower than the upper band of the VWAP. Okay, and I'll be monitoring this really close. Bitcoin has done a tremendous chug after hours. Now we closed, where is it? Right here at 23.8, and now we're at 24.5. So that's huge. And the cool thing, unless this just knifes down, is that these squeezes are kind of dying off, but it's holding. So I'll be monitoring that. VIX, it had a giant candle down at the end and closed here. So it closed right on its 10-minute 200. It's got this huge gap here, right? So this is something to keep an eye on. Crude oil doing its thing. Who knows when it's going to move. Is it up a little after close? Yeah, we closed right around here. So it's up a little bit. Half a point, something like that. 10-year yield. And then we got the Dixie, right? Okay, so where did the Dixie close? The Dixie closed here. We've come down a bit. It's right now fighting with its 5-minute 200 MA, which is kind of awesome that it's doing that, which correlates with the 1 hour 21 MA. So obviously this is a walk down from yesterday's high. So now we have an interesting situation where we have a double top, right? So this can come down quite a bit. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. What's China doing? China opened green, sold down, retested the bottom, then rejected yesterday's high, but is holding the 9. So this is the first night in quite a few days that it's come down. And I always said it's gonna come down to this gap here. So yeah, it's sold down quite a bit. This is the daily. So we got BABA earnings. See here, this turned yellow. So is it time for China to go? Very possible. This is the tick I use when I scalp, right? I usually have it on 5 minute. It kind of it'll show you a little bit of this and that. You can use that for confirmation. So yeah, that's the broad overlook of the market and what I'll be looking at tomorrow. Obviously, I'm in Nvidia that did that, which I'm really happy about. Will it fill this gap? If it wants to fill this gap, guys, this is a insane short. But if it doesn't, it'll reject here, fill it, reject here, fill it. If market rips, it can see 230. I'm obviously in BABA, whatever. Has some after hours action. You see here, could it be inverted head and shoulders? Then, you know, if it can get to this gap and market rips, it could even go to 100. So we will see. I'm also in Tesla. Had some action after hours. As you can see here, once it held or closed above this, if it can get through this with the help of the market, it has room to go, like serious moon training. And then obviously SPY, so we'll check it tomorrow. Hope this helps and kind of gives you an incentive to what I look at after hours, which is predominantly ES and Bitcoin and HSI. And then I look at the DAX, which is Germany, when it opens. All right, tomorrow we will ride.